Welcome back, guys. And it's Friday, and I want to say that you should title Business is Business. If you're thinking about starting a business and you don't know what type of business to get into, whether you want to go into e-commerce, whether you want to go into something that's business to business sales, business to consumer sales, business is business. The laws of business are always going to remain the same. I have a buddy who has a very strong business in B2C. And whenever I spoke about starting a business, and I always said that I wanted to go B2B, he always said that you got to go B2C. You got to go where something, you got to do paid ads. You want inbound leads, inbound orders, all of these things where it was basically e-commerce digital. That was not my cup of tea. I always wanted to go into B2B. I knew that the way that I invest could go out and make money. I didn't have money to spend on ads when I was in college. I didn't have $1,000 a month to spend on advertising to see if I could make back $1,000 or make a profit. I had zero money. I knew the only way that I was going to be able to go into business was if I went out and I used time and energy by phone calls and emails that I personally wrote or I personally made to try and sell somebody a product or service. When I went in and I tried to do like a social media business when I was in college, I couldn't spend money on ads. I had to learn how to organically grow an audience and kind of leverage social media tactics to be able to grow an audience and get my posts out in front of more people when I needed inbound orders for my websites. Those businesses, they never went anywhere because I could never get big enough to where I could get enough profitability to where I could start running paid ads at the same time as growing the organic content. I knew for a fact that when I wanted to start my business in this next phase of my life, that's been about 4 or 5 years now since like COVID time, 2020, 2025. I knew that I needed to go out and make phone calls to make sales. I needed to have a product or a service that was large enough and important enough that it needed to be a human to human connection related. And I would like it to be something that's repeatable. That's how I kind of ended up in logistics and freight. It's a repeatable process. You go out, you cold call shippers, you cold call these people to move their freight for them. And they don't work with people who just, it's not an industry where an inbound ad to these particular prospects that will not win you their business. There needs to be some form of relationship, some form of connection. Now, is it good companies still run advertising? Absolutely. Absolutely, companies still run advertising. I don't think that it's worth paying for at this current moment in time. In the future, maybe. As for why I went into this business, the laws of business always remain the same. You need to offer somebody a product or service, and you need to then be able to negotiate prices, and then it needs to be valuable to them. Value is something that's spoke about all the time. No one can tell you what it means because it's different to every single prospect and every single customer that you're ever going to work with or that you ever reach out to. When somebody says like, oh, you just have to offer them value, when you're like, what the heck does that mean? No one knows because value is what is determined by the person purchasing it. But as long as you offer enough value, that $1 of that above what your price is, they will buy it for the most part. There are switching costs in other things, especially in logistics. For example, in freight brokerage, in order to switch from one freight brokerage to another, it takes a lot of paperwork that needs to be done. It kind of takes a headache. People have to learn your processes. People have to learn how you like to be worked with in terms of like the customers. And that is a headache, right? That whole headache has to be a payoff in the long run. It doesn't have to be on the first shipment or anything like that. But as long as it's worth it over the long run, they will switch and start working with you. But your price has to be somewhere where they're like saving money on each shipment or where the headache per shipment are going to go down or the number of claims that they have go down. There's multiple different ways that you can create value in this industry. You just have to find them. You have to uncover them. Every different shipper, every customer, every prospect is going to have different problems that you can uncover. But the laws of business are the laws of business. They will never change. You have to provide value to your customers in order to save them time, save them money, save them headaches. You get the message. But if you're thinking about which business to go into, you go, wow, I don't know which one to start. You can start any. And I know that doesn't help you at all, but you can start any business. It will be successful as long as you work to make it successful And as long as you continue to learn, iterate, and just reinvent everything that you do to make yourself better and try to beat yourself as if you were your own competition, because you are each day. But I hope you enjoyed that, guys. I hope it was valuable to you. If it was, leave a like. If it wasn't, leave a dislike. Everything helps. And then leave a comment on what you thought was useful, what you thought maybe might not be useful in the future, and what type of videos you would like to see in the future. And then, of course, subscribe to follow along. Follow the daily vlog series that I release on Wednesdays, sometimes Thursdays. Follow along. Thanks, guys.